The enigma of BTK, a familiar face, a hidden terror. Wichita, Kansas, a seemingly ordinary city, heartland of America. But beneath the surface, a darkness lurked. Dennis Rader, a name synonymous with terror, the BTK killer. For over 30 years he cast a long shadow, a predator hiding in plain sight. Rader was an ordinary man, a family man, a churchgoer, a Boy Scout leader. No one suspected the truth. He was a master of deception, his double life a chilling reality. The acronym BTK, his own chilling trademark, bind, torture, kill. A chillingly descriptive calling card. It sent shivers down the spines of Wichita's residents. How could someone so ordinary be capable of such evil? Seeds of darkness. A troubled childhood and early warning signs. Dennis Rader's early life was ordinary. He grew up in a typical suburban neighborhood, surrounded by the familiar sights and sounds of the 1950s. His family appeared to be the picture of normalcy, engaging in everyday activities that were common for the time, but some incidents hinted at a darker side. He tortured animals, a behavior that was deeply troubling and often hidden from the public eye. This cruelty towards animals was not just a phase, it was a significant red flag, a classic sign of burgeoning psychopathy. Experts often point to such early behaviors as indicators of more severe issues to come. The lack of empathy and the enjoyment of causing pain are hallmarks of a disturbed mind. He harbored fantasies of control and domination. These fantasies were not fleeting thoughts, but persistent and growing desires that he kept hidden from those around him. His family life, seemingly normal, masked the internal turmoil he was experiencing. To outsiders, the Rader family appeared happy and well-adjusted, but beneath the surface, there were cracks. Yet, some suggest a lack of emotional connection. The interactions within the family were often superficial, lacking the deep emotional bonds that are crucial for healthy development. Did this contribute to his detachment? The emotional distance within his family may have played a role in his growing sense of isolation and detachment from others. To his warped sense of empathy? The answer remains elusive. While it's difficult to pinpoint the exact causes, the lack of emotional support and understanding likely exacerbated his issues. School was unremarkable for Rader. He attended classes, did his homework, and participated in school activities just like any other child. There was nothing in his academic life that stood out as particularly unusual. He was not a loner, nor was he particularly popular. He blended in. His ability to appear normal and unremarkable allowed him to fly under the radar, avoiding suspicion. Another face in the crowd. This anonymity provided him with the perfect cover to nurture his dark fantasies without drawing attention. All the while, his dark fantasies simmered beneath the surface. These thoughts were a constant presence, shaping his worldview and influencing his actions.
His early behavior, like torturing animals, is a common precursor to more violent actions. This behavior is often a warning sign that, if recognized, could potentially prevent future tragedies. It shows a deep-seated need for control and a lack of empathy. These traits are often found in individuals who go on to commit more serious crimes. His fantasies of domination were early warning signs that went unnoticed. These signs, if identified and addressed early, might have changed the course of his life and the lives of his future victims.
The bind, torture, kill legacy, a descent into depravity. 1974. The Otero family, his first known victims, a family of four, Joseph, Julie, Josephine and Joseph Jr. Their lives were cut short in a brutal and senseless act of violence, brutally murdered in their own home. The scene was one of unimaginable horror, a nightmare that no one could wake up from. The details, too horrific to describe, the sheer brutality left even the most seasoned investigators shaken to their core. The city of Wichita was in shock, a peaceful community, now gripped by fear and sorrow. The Otero family's murder was a dark cloud that hung over the city. Who could commit such a heinous act? The question lingered in the air, haunting everyone. The police were desperate for answers, but the killer remained elusive.
The community was in disbelief. Neighbors who once felt safe now looked over their shoulders, wondering if they could be next. How could something so terrible happen here? The fear was palpable. Parents held their children closer, and doors were locked tight.
Rader toyed with the police. He sent taunting letters. He craved recognition. Each letter was a twisted game, a way to assert his dominance over the authorities. He needed to feel powerful. It was a sick compulsion, a need to control and instill fear. The letters, full of chilling details. They described his crimes with a cold, detached precision that was terrifying. Details only the killer could know. Each letter was a puzzle piece, a clue that brought the police closer, yet kept them at bay. His modus operandi was chillingly consistent. He stalked his victims. He learned their routines. He knew when they would be most vulnerable. He would break into their homes. He would incapacitate them. The invasion of their personal space was just the beginning of the terror. And then he would torture them. The physical pain was matched only by the psychological torment. His crimes escalating in brutality. Each act more vicious than the last, a descent into depravity that seemed to have no end. A web of deception? How BTK evaded capture for decades. Rader's ability to evade capture was astounding. He was meticulous. Every detail was planned with precision, from the timing of his attacks to the way he left the crime scenes. He studied his victims, learning their routines and vulnerabilities. He planned his crimes carefully. He left no trace, or so he thought. His knowledge of forensic science allowed him to stay one step ahead of the investigators, always aware of what they might look for. He blended into society seamlessly. As a family man and a church leader, he was the last person anyone would suspect. His public persona was a perfect cover, a phantom in the night. He moved through the shadows, striking fear into the hearts of the community. His ability to disappear after each crime was almost supernatural. His position as a compliance officer was ironic. He enforced the law, ensuring others followed the rules. He enforced the law by day. His job gave him a sense of authority and control, which he craved. He broke it with impunity by night, the ultimate hypocrisy. His double life was a twisted game, a way to satisfy his dark desires while maintaining a facade of normalcy. Did his work provide him with insights? Did his role as a compliance officer give him the knowledge he needed to avoid detection? Did it fuel his dark desires? Years turned into decades. The case went cold. Despite the efforts of law enforcement, he remained elusive, but the memory of BTK lingered. The fear remained. The community lived in constant dread, never knowing when or where he might strike next. The city of Wichita, forever scarred. The impact of his crimes was felt by everyone, leaving a lasting mark on the community.
We were baffled. He was right under our noses, living a double life. Despite our best efforts, he managed to stay hidden. His ability to blend in was frightening. He was a master of disguise, able to become invisible in plain sight. It made us question everything we thought we knew. How could someone so dangerous be so ordinary? It was a chilling realization.
The city of Wichita, forever scarred. The legacy of BTK is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can hide behind the most ordinary of facades. Section 5. The arrogance of power, the mistakes that led to BTK's downfall. Time, however, erodes even the most carefully constructed facade. Rader's arrogance grew. He grew overconfident. He believed he was invincible. He began communicating with the police again. In 2004, he sent a letter. A fateful mistake. He wanted to know if a floppy disk could be traced. The police cunningly assured him it couldn't. He took the bait. He sent the disk. The disk contained a deleted file, but the police were able to recover it. It contained a message, and the sender, Dennis. The net was closing in. The police also found a link to the Christ Lutheran Church and a certain Dennis Rader. Section 6. Unmasking the monster inside the mind of a serial killer. February 25, 2005, Dennis Rader was arrested. He was charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder. The city of Wichita breathed a collective sigh of relief. The monster had been caught. Rader's confession was chilling in its detail. He showed no remorse. He relished recounting his crimes. He described his victims' suffering in graphic detail. He was a sadist. He enjoyed inflicting pain.
Psychologists have studied Rader extensively. He fits the profile of a sexual sadist. He derived pleasure from his victims' suffering. He was also a narcissist. He craved attention and recognition.
Section 7. Scars on a Community. The enduring impact of BTK's reign of terror.
The impact of BTK's crimes on Wichita was profound. The city lived in fear for decades. Families were torn apart. Lives were shattered. The scars run deep. Even today, the memory of BTK haunts the city. The families of the victims were devastated. They had waited decades for justice. Some found solace in Rader's capture. Others felt it was too little, too late. Their pain will never truly end.
Section 8. Lessons learned, justice served. The evolution of criminal profiling.
The BTK case had a significant impact on law enforcement. It highlighted the importance of forensic evidence. It also led to advancements in criminal profiling. Rader's case helped investigators understand the psychology of serial killers better. The case also underscored the importance of public vigilance. Rader was caught because of a tip from the public. It showed that even the most meticulous criminals can be caught. Dennis Rader is incarcerated in Kansas. He is serving 10 consecutive life sentences. He will die in prison. But his legacy of evil lives on. The case continues to fascinate and horrify. It is a stark reminder of the capacity for human evil. It is also a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Section 10, a reminder of our vulnerability, the importance of vigilance. The BTK case serves as a chilling reminder. Evil can lurk in the most unexpected places. It reminds us to be vigilant, to be aware of our surroundings, and to report anything suspicious. The case also teaches us the importance of community. We must look out for each other. We must work together to keep our communities safe. We must never forget the victims of BTK. Their memory will forever be a reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows.